everybody, and welcome back to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, so excited to be with you guys here this week.
Big day.
Big day. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Whisman.
And we couldn't be more thrilled. Hope you have enjoyed last week's double heavy rotation of episodes.
Lots of football.
Lots of football. Ryan Leaf was our last episode, which, like we said, didn't kill anybody or that sort of thing, but just was such a moronic disaster that we thought this is going to be fun. Right. I mean, it just when you deal with an idiot like that.
Somebody comment too on Twitter about how thankful, or was it Facebook? I can't remember. How thankful she was for us to do it because she too suffers from addiction. Because our system does not cure anything; it just treats and just pumps you full of drugs.
Oh, the lady with the Disney picture. Yeah. She's nice. I love that lady.
Ends up addicting you to some fucking painkiller, and then you run your goddamn life trying to chase the shit down.
And if you're an idiot like Ryan Leaf is to begin with, things really get bad when you add drugs to the mix. And that's today's episode. This episode here. This is everything that Crime and Sports is about.
This is why we did this.
In a nutshell, there is, murder, corruption, mental illness, drugs, college sports, a major college sports program going into a mess. It's just everything.
You guys think for a second that James does not do his due diligence with investigation. There's a Bible's thickness worth of shit in front of us right now that we're about to go over with
I have some serious index cards here, Jimmy, because this is a
shit
deep
is thick.
One. This one is thick. Let's get right into it.
So let's start with what's the first book of the Bible? Genesis?
I think it's not a lot of sports in this because he only played 1 year of major college sports. So this isn't really. This is more about the culture of sports than like statistics this week by far. Our guy this week's Carlton Dotson, Carlton Eric Dotson Jr. Another junior.
What the fuck?
Don't name your kids after yourself because when they go off and kill a college teammate, you look like an asshole.
Right.
But
anything. Have there been four? This is our fourth junior?
This is our fourth junior out of like 14 people.
Yeah.
And one of them is Sally McNeil, so there's not really a lot of junior ladies, so we'll take her out of the mix. It's like a third of the people are juniors and to completely disgrace their fathers. But luckily for them, their fathers are never around, these particular gentlemen who turn into fuck-ups.
That's crazy.
So,
I love this kid so much, I'm going to give him my name. I'm giving up on this one. I'm out. What the fuck?
This is a crazy story. He's born June 1st, 1982. He's a Maryland kid. Now, his mother, we know a lot about his childhood, actually, and a lot about his mother. His mother, Gilretha, everybody calls her Gail, but I'm calling her Gilretha because that's my favorite name ever.
That is a shit name.
Gilretha. And they showed her picture. This is in a 2008 interview, and she looks like she's 74 years old and she's 43. She's had a tough life. I'm not kidding either. She's had a really tough life. Gilretha had Carlton after a night of teenage bowling and drinking.
I love
when
it.
she was 16.
I love
conceived Carlton. Had Carlton when she was 16. Gave Carlton to her grandmother to raise. She would go to school till 3 o'clock, then go to the ConAgra chicken factory at 4 o'clock and work till midnight. So she never saw the kid. She'd do school, and she turned into a big-time alcoholic.
At 16 years old, she's working at the chicken factory.
The chicken parting, literally just separating the thighs from the breasts. And,
disgusting.
Yeah, disgusting. She must imagine the smell coming off of that.
How do you fuck a woman? She's 16. I can't even say how you fuck a woman because that's not a woman.
Yeah, no,
how do you have sex with a woman, a girl that is parting chickens?
Well, she ended up having, at the time she had Carlton, this was pre-chicken factory. She had the chicken. The chickens were because of Carlton.
All right.
I guess
she was allocated to chicken party.
Yes, she had
because she had a child.
But it's more than that because it gets worse with her, and she's got addiction issues. She's in and out of his life. She's there for a couple days, gone for 6 months. So I mean, this poor
chickens
kid
for 6 months.
This poor kid, and he never. I don't know if this was an attempt to reel the father into the mix by naming him after him, but the father is never mentioned or around.
Wow. How about that too? Real quickly, that is a very good story as to why not to have a child. Don't have a teenage pregnancy.
No.
You're going to end up parting chickens.
You're going to be parting chickens. That's the commercial they should put on.
You want to take beaks off of shit. You don't want to do this.
No,
This is a horrible life.
They should have some 16-year-old girl in the commercial taking a selfie after she's covered in chicken blood, like with a couple of thighs
With
in her
a
hand.
frown.
Just sad. That's what happens when you
because I
fuck in a
got
bowling
horny.
alley.
Goddamn
Watch out.
Bud Light.
Bud Light, pictures of it. Not even your own bottle.
No, it's just keg beer.
A pissy pitcher. So,
In a dirty pitcher.
the mother, she married, her first husband was a Haitian national that they had 3 sons together. So this guy's from Haiti, was, quote, violently abusive.
Yeah.
She still, at the time of this 2008 interview, she still had crisscrossing scars on her back from a beating that she took from him with a severed TV cord.
Awesome.
Power cord, because he thought she'd been with another man.
It was just the chicken bits.
It's chicken, I swear. She ends up having 5 kids from 3 different men. So I mean,
How many did she have with the Haitian?
3.
3?
3 sons.
Wow.
So 3 future criminals.
You should know,
with abusive
ladies, if you're
upbringings.
dating a guy from Haiti, thoroughly check him out. There's a reason that he fled that country. That country is a piece of shit in the first place.
It is.
It's a horrible place.
Carlton apparently had enough chicken parts to grow to 6'7", which is good. He got enough food in him.
Lots of lean protein.
Lots of lean proteins. Went to Dorchester High School in Hurlock, Maryland. That's where he's from.
All right.
Played at the University of Buffalo for a brief time in Buffalo, New York, obviously. Ends up transferring. This guy's just transferring all around. He can never find a place, Carlton. That's his problem.
That's a red flag.
That's a red flag. He ends up going up. I mean, a lot of times they go from like a small thing to a junior college.
Right.
It's a better program. Then they try to go to a big...
Get to a university.
Get to a big
right.
program. But he seems to go backwards here, from Buffalo then to Paris Junior College in Paris, Texas.
All right.
This is also where he meets his wife, which 21-year-old kid with a wife, and we'll get into her in a second.
That's a good start.
This is where they meet at junior college. Transfers to Baylor. This is in Waco, Texas, and this is going to be the setting for all of this insanity. In 2002, he plays forward for 1 season. Not a whole lot of playtime for him. Basically, it seems like the coach got him there.
Yeah.
And the coach is Dave Bliss, and we'll get into this guy too, because this is a lot about him too in the end. And he ends up having a disastrous downfall out of this. He did some untoward things in this
So Bliss
investigation.
saw a guy that's 6'7" and said, "That's a guy I want. He can play power forward. I don't
Yeah,
care.
or
I don't care his
swing
footwork.
man or
I don't care if he
something.
can shoot.
Yeah.
If he can just pull down boards,
He's there. So
he's useful.
He brings him in, and over the course of the season, it diminishes. His play time diminishes. His stats are not very good. He plays in 28 games, starts 1 game in the season.
Boy.
He's there. Plays 15.6 minutes per game, so he's kind of the garbage man. Cleaning up, 4.5 points, nothing special.
When they're down by 30, he
Yeah.
goes in to run out the clock.
Half a steal, 2.5 rebounds a game. I mean, just nothing terrific. 89 free throw percentage though.
That's pretty solid.
So the kid could shoot free
Yeah.
throws. He had some focus at some point.
That's where Bliss found him.
That's
Just
where
sitting
it's
there
like,
shooting free throws in a park
yeah,
somewhere.
38%.
He's like, there he is.
Yeah, 38% from the floor, which leads me to believe he's probably not a down low force.
That's terrible.
Shooting from the wing or something. Now, our other character here, we have Carlton Dotson, and then we are in our cast of characters. The other important person in this is his Baylor teammate, Patrick Dennehy.
Yeah.
Patrick Dennehy is a 6'10" forward. Wow. He's 6'10", 250. He's a big dude. He's a power forward. Now, he's a guy who has a troubled past, sort of also. Broken home, but it's kind of like he has a stepfather that's
Right.
a big part of his life now, and it seems like this guy's trying to get his life together.
Sure.
For a while here, he's known
Playing
as
college basketball. He's getting there.
and this is after some bumps in the road too.
Sure.
He's known as kind of a temperamental loner, real smart guy though,
Yeah.
but just kind of not real, socially whatever. Professor John Cunningham at Baylor said, quote, "He didn't appear to be close with his teammates. I never saw him talking to them before or after class." So that's the kind of guy he was. Weird, right?
Yeah.
He transfers to Baylor in 2002 after having a history of fighting with teammates and coaches everywhere else. In high school, he left a high school because of a clash with a coach. At the University of New Mexico, which is where he was before Baylor, during a game, he shoved a teammate and stormed off the court in the final minutes of the game.
Game's still going.
Game's still going. He was like, fuck you, dude, I'm out of here. And he's like, nah, man, screw that guy. And he just left. So he's eventually kicked off of the team in New Mexico, transfers to Baylor.
These two are like quite the odd couple, but they're very much like the guys that the Columbine kids, where one's like the obvious ringleader of the other, but the other one wants to be a badass too.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very much like them.
It's just a weird, it's so weird, and Dennehy has his issues, and that's, we'll get into this also.
Here we go.
Apparently Dotson's the only temmate that Dennehy will hang around with, and vice versa. They just don't hang around with anybody else.
They find the sickness in each other, and they relate to it.
There's something there. It's so funny because they have a barbecue. Dennehy throws him a birthday barbecue, and this is 10 days before our little incident. And she said they were best friends. This is a neighbor here, LaDonna Newton. This neighbor said they were best friends. They were always together. And when Dennehy introduced Dotson to her, he said, "This is the guy I can trust the most." That's how he introduced to Dotson to a person.
This guy's got my same head sickness.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just they were pals. I mean, it's now Baylor University. A little background on Baylor here, because it kind of feeds into the whole thing. It's a Baptist university.
Right.
So they're it's a conservative place.
Yes.
It's Texas anyway, and Waco's not exactly Paris. I don't even mean Paris, Texas. It's not exactly a metropolitan kind of a place. It's a little rural.
It's a little more rural, right.
Yeah.
You've seen the footage of the Waco disaster.
Exactly.
That's the town.
That's what it's known for.
Right.
It's known for the FBI burning its largest house to the ground and its inhabitants included.
Just wide open, lots of brown.
ATF or whatever.
Right. ATF and FBI, everybody just
everybody, let's burn it. Hey, come on, guys. We're having a fire.
You got a match? You got a can of gas?
Bring the ballpark Franks.
We'll team
up. Baylor is the world's largest Baptist university.
I had no idea.
Yeah, over 14,000 students there.
That's a nice fact.
So Dotson, getting into him here, he marries Melissa Kethley, which I hate that name, Kethley. It's a terrible name. Yeah. I would change that. It just doesn't flow.
Well, she's about to change it.
Yeah, she's about to change it to
Melissa Dotson.
They marry in August 17, 2002. They meet at Paris Junior College there. Right. Now, their relationship, at first, she said he's just the sweetest, nicest, most gentle guy. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
And they have a great time when she moves there. They move in together. They get a place in Waco together. Everything is going phenomenally. Until all of a sudden he starts displaying a lot of paranoid and violent behavior.
Lots of Haitian behavior.
This is his influence apparently. Yeah. This is the downfall here of Carlton Dotson.
He's starting to unwind.
Now the season is coming to an end also. This happens during the season. He starts to unwind, but it really starts getting bad at the end of the basketball season. He and Coach Dave Bliss agree to go their separate ways. Right. His scholarship is dropped. He's still enrolled in school at this point. He's still going to class.
Right.
But he's talking about playing somewhere else.
Uh-oh.
And so, his basketball scholarship's dropped at this point. So I don't know if this has anything it leads into it or whatever. But yeah, she said he became paranoid in the months leading up to this whole thing in 2003, early 2003. Thought that she was cheating on him with teammates.
Wow.
And would get violent, punched her, gave her a black eye one time. They got a new apartment and he wouldn't tell any of the teammates where he lived. Only Dennehy was allowed over. Only Dennehy was allowed over. Otherwise, no one was allowed to know where he lived because he thought someone was going to be coming over, banging his wife.
He's got a lot of problems.
He's super paranoid, extremely paranoid. She said, quote, it's like he wasn't even the same person. His facial expressions, his voice, it would scare me so bad. He just changed.
Personality. Yeah. He's just changed into a different person.
And honestly, this is when his behavior later on, when you have paranoid schizophrenics and things like that, this is college is when it's manifests itself a lot of the time. Right. So this makes a lot of sense. And also some other information later on that makes a lot of sense also, and I'll tell you about that when it's relevant.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Well,
so we are doing a very
apropos
episode
because
for this shit.
You should be aware of this guy's mental health, and anyone else you meet whose health is similar to this, be aware of them and get the fuck away from them.
Send some warnings out to neighbors and shit.
Just don't go shooting in a gravel pit with them. That's all we're gonna say. Okay, this story is so twisted, guys. I can't wait for you to hear the whole thing. It's just great. He told his wife, Carlton tells his wife that he has starting to have hallucinations and he hears voices.
Oh, no.
He's hearing voices now. This is another level here.
It's time to get him help.
Yeah, hears voices telling him that she's cheating on him. That's where he's getting his information from voices in his head.
From the dog next door barking.
Yeah, he'd freak. Yeah, that's what we're basically dealing with. He'd freak out and then he'd calm down. And once he calmed down, he'd admit he needs help. And they would say, okay, he's going to get help. Apparently, he went to a couple of counseling sessions, but never told them about the voices or the hallucinations.
That's the first thing you said.
Yeah, well, he said...
Hey, why are you here today? I hear shit. That's what we talk about.
I'm hearing shit. I'm seeing shit. There is people that aren't here that are telling me things that my wife is doing. This isn't right?
They told me about her tossing somebody's salad. I went berserk. I punched her for fuck's sake.
I knocked her out. I was looking to sever a TV cord at some point, but I couldn't find one. Right. But yeah, so he didn't want to, it was for fear of being labeled insane, he said. He didn't want to be labeled insane. It's the Eddie Johnson thing. Wow. I'm crazy. I hope nobody calls me crazy. I'll just say I'm not crazy. It's nuts. His wife said, quote, "A bunch of times I packed my stuff. I even loaded up the car. I never left, though. By the end, I packed so many times I was living out of boxes." Jesus. So imagine what this lady's living like. You know what I mean? She's got this guy. She doesn't know what he's going to be like today, if he's going to be normal Carlton or if he's going to be like
and
psycho.
She cares about the guy, obviously.
Hearing voices,
just roll
Carlton.
the ignition, honey. Just go.
Yeah, so I mean, she's scared. She's taking her clothes out of boxes because she's like leaving, and it's just
how many times can you open that U-Haul box before you're just like, fuck it, I gotta go?
It got they probably got so like kind of soft and weathered that they wouldn't close on top. It would just kind of sit open like a.
Just like a limp, it looks wet.
Like a prolapse of a box on top. Just a mess. One of those. So she says she did love him. She said, I don't think I'll ever not love Carlton. I don't think I could ever love anybody like that again. I mean, and...
I think you loved him way too much. I mean, you gave all you had.
You tried.
You got no regrets, hon.
You tried.
You're done.
Babe. Yeah, listen, honey. Now, she says that in the months leading up to this, in March, April of May of 2003, that Carlton meets another student named Roman. Roman is super religious, super Christian.
No.
Yeah, we're getting into this again. Now, I have a theory here when these guys get into Christianity, okay? I'm not a religious guy, but I don't think it's the religion that's causing them to snap, because it's always right at the end. Like, if you look at the timeline, it's a huge timeline. In the last 2 minutes of it, you have religion and then complete meltdown right afterwards. I think it's more these guys when they're...
It's a last-ditch effort.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When they're going towards rock bottom, they go, maybe I'll try to grab onto that for a lifeline.
This ship is going down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think they're looking for something.
Yeah.
So he's looking and he finds a little bit of Christianity here. His wife, Melissa, said about the Roman guy, he was real Christian-y, which I think is fun. He gave Carlton all these religious books to read. He seemed more preoccupied with religion and talked more about visions and hearing voices.
Oh, no.
So the religion is like exacerbating this whatever the fuck malady he's got going on. At this point, they break up. Now in May, they break up.
They divorce, right?
Not till later, but they separate. She moves in with her parents. They I guess I don't know if their lease is up or what. She moves in with her parents in Sulphur Springs, Texas. Yeah. He moves in with Patrick Dennehy.
Perfect.
Okay, it's his best buddy.
Perfect.
He invites him to live there for free too. No rent, nothing. Just feels bad for the guy. Moves him in. On his birthday is June 1st of 2003. That's when he throws him a birthday barbecue. Right. That the lady said, this is, the guy I trust the most.
He and all his voices get to move in rent-free.
Rent-free. But I mean, they're so, this is a weird level of tightness. He invites him to stay for free. He's the only guy he hangs out with. He throws him a birthday barbecue in the apartment complex and introduces him to people as this is the only guy I trust. I don't know.
It's very odd.
It's a very
odd behavior.
It's odd behavior.
Even at 21, 22 years old, that's still really weird.
It's super weird. Yeah, that's like some weird 12-year-old fort behavior. You know what I mean? Like, me and Timmy are the only ones allowed in this fort. I trust Timmy. Yeah. He won't tell the girls where it is. It's very...
He-Man, Woman Haters, Man Club,
so
whatever
weird.
It was.
Yeah. There's... Val Bundy.
Yeah.
And then there's also another roommate involved. Some other poor bastard that's in the mix.
Jesus.
You don't want to be the third in this threesome. Let me tell you something, buddy. Chris Turk, he's 20 years old at the time. He said, "quote Patrick let him move in for free. I never saw them argue or fight. They were
For all
these
intents
two
and purposes, they were married. They were a great little couple. Yeah.
Inseparable. Things are going fine. Everything's great until June 11th comes around.
10 days.
June 11th comes around, and they both disappear.
Jesus. It took 10 days
Where's Carlton?
for them to disappear together.
Most of all, where's Patrick?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the
lives
problem.
here, that's on the lease.
The guy that's on the lease. Now, leading up to this, in May, or the very beginning of June, this is like a week before, 2 weeks before, they buy guns. Patrick and Carlton.
Matching ones.
Matching guns. They are telling people that they are receiving threatening phone calls and that people are after them and they are going. That people want to kill them. They start now. Patrick has joined into the paranoid delusions. Now, I might as well give this information later because we don't know the relevance of it, but it makes a lot of sense unless it's either they are both paranoid schizophrenics and they somehow just found each other, or there's another exacerbating issue. An attorney for Carlton Dotson later on, after everything is said and done in 2010-ish, says that there was a lot of evidence to the whole attorney team. It didn't come up in court because it wasn't a good thing for him. A lot of evidence. They definitely smoked a lot of weed, these two. Whatever, they're college basketball players. Of course they're smoking a lot of weed.
That's what they do.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're kids. So, but there was a lot of evidence that they were smoking meth-laced weed.
Oh, boy.
So they had they were mixing some meth in with
encouraging their behavior.
And things like that. So if you add a little bit of paranoid schizophrenia and you sprinkle some meth on it, you get some really aberrant behavior.
Crazy shit.
And we're going to get to this shit because that would make so much sense in the paranoia that they have. They're paranoid about everything.
Everything.
They apparently go and tell the coaches that they're paranoid about this, which is a big factor later because the head coach ends up denying this fact that he heard anything, and so this is a huge deal.
But they got proof.
But yeah, there was and this is the other thing that's a little muddy here. There was a Pakistani tutor, as an exchange to a student from just a student from Pakistan who was tutoring Carlton Dotson, which is hilarious. I just picture this little tiny Pakistani kid. He's from Pakistan. Picture him like heavy accent with this giant black guy, like, "Come on, we teach you the thing now." And it must have been amazing.
It looks like the comparison of the comparing of the guy. I can't think of his name now. In Bad Words, have you seen that movie?
I never saw it.
There's a little Pakistani kid. It's a spelling bee movie.
And there's always a Pakistani kid.
It's an adult that's in a spelling bee, and the Pakistani kid can. Anyway, damn it! Now that I'm not going to know his name,
you son of a bitch bastard!
But look that a tall guy with a little
Yeah, he's 6'7".
That's the point.
He says that on June 9th, that Dodson moved into his extra room in his place, which is strange because no one else knew about this, but this guy said that Dotson moved all his shit in on the 9th, and then by the 11th he was gone. So we don't know if there was, I don't know what, maybe Dotson was thinking, there's people after me, I'm going to move my stuff, I'm going to keep moving, basically, because I don't want to be
I don't want
found.
to be settled very long.
It's nuts. So, I mean, they disappear at this point. Dennehy's gone. No one knows where he is.
No one knows where either of them are.
Now, Father's Day goes by. Like, his stepfather doesn't receive a call. Dennehy's stepfather, so like, that's odd. That's not like Patrick.
We're close.
Yeah, they're close. The family's very close, which we get a little bit from Carlton later, he says. Chris Turk returns from an out-of-town trip to find that Dennehy's dogs obviously haven't eaten in days.
There's no food, no water.
They're sniffing around. They look skinny. There's no food. There's no water out. There's So he's like, what the hell's up with that? That's unlike Patrick. Apparently he was very responsible. On the 19th of June, his parents file a missing persons report.
9 days later.
Because it's, a week's gone by. Yeah. You figure he's a college kid. If he's gone for 3 days, who the fuck knows? Maybe him and the other guy blew off down to Mexico.
When he comes back.
Yeah, maybe he went down and they're going. You never know what college kids are doing. Especially it's the end of June, the school year's ending.
Right.
Who knows? Or the beginning of June, school year's going. You don't know what the hell these kids are doing. A week goes by. Dogs aren't fed. Okay, something's weird at this point. They're missing. While they're missing, by the way, we come to his Carlton's ex-coach. His name's Vic Burns. There is no picture of this guy anywhere, but I guarantee you, with all that Crime in Sports stands for, that this is a silver-haired, middle-aged white man. This is the pinnacle. This is the model of a silver-haired, middle-aged, fucking just assisting criminal bullshit asshole dipshit, okay? This guy, Coach Vic Burns from high school, while he's on the run, he said he'd like this former player to call him. Carlton, he's talking about now. He goes, I always felt like he was kind of like one of our own kids. That is basically what I'm here right now for, to support him. I wanted him to know that I'm here for him, and I'd like him to call me, but I understand. Is that the most middle-aged, silver-haired...
Just pushing him down that
white
path.
man, I just want to support him.
Yeah. Anything to help you.
He was shocked to hear that Carlton was a suspect in this whole missing player thing.
There's a body missing, sir.
Here's an even middle-aged, silver-haired, whiter quote, okay? Quote, I'm depressed a little bit, concerned. Regardless of how anybody feels about me or him, I felt close to him, and he's got to be hurting right now. I kind of hurt for him. Yeah, you do. It's just... I
hurt for him.
Just really want to help him.
He's terrified right now, sir. He doesn't need you to hurt for him. He's running from the law, clearly.
Now Dennehy pops up in Maryland, and we'll get to how he got there.
Fuck.
But all of a sudden, he's in Maryland.
Nowhere near Mexico.
Nowhere near Mexico. Nowhere near Waco.
No.
He's in Maryland. He pops up at his coach's, finds his coach here, Burns. He also talks to his wife, who... they get a hold of each other, and his wife says, where the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Dennehy's fucking missing. They're suspecting foul play.
You got a silver-haired, middle-aged white man on the news begging for you.
What's the deal? Right. And he says, I don't know where Dennehy is, which is super odd because the night that this whole incident happened, she sees him, and he's driving Dennehy's truck. Like, this is before he leaves. This is the night of June 11th, hours after this alleged incident here. Right. Not even alleged, it's fucking it's fact. After this incident, he goes to hang out with his ex-wife. Okay, June 11th. They meet at a video store.
Yeah.
He pulls up in Dennehy's black SUV, which I guess that was a normal thing, but at this point, Dennehy's not missing yet.
Right.
But anyway, pulls up in Dennehy's truck. They go out to eat. He tries to talk about reconciliation, blah, blah, blah. They get off in the car. He drives to a motel, tries to talk her into spending the night with him.
Yeah.
He's like, what the hell?
I'm horny as fuck. I just murdered a man. Let's fuck.
I'm about to go out on the run here. What are you going to do? She says no. They get pissed. This is like such an ending to a relationship.
Yeah.
She gets pissed off. They have a big argument over that. She gets out of the SUV and walks. Now imagine this. Her walking a half mile in the driving Texas rain back to her car, and that's what it was.
And she will,
and
too.
She did, pissed off.
They are married, and that's what happens.
Mumbling the whole
when you
time.
have a married fight. I once walked 4 miles from Home Depot to my house because I refused to ride in a car with my wife, who I just got in a fight with.
This is only a half mile. This is
half
clean.
mile's easy.
So this happens, and then he's gone, basically, after that. And then she doesn't talk to him again until he's in Maryland, and he says, I don't know what happened to Dennehy. Meanwhile, one more quote from Vic Burns, because this is the one right here. This is the most abetting one I've seen. Quote, I don't even want to know. When we talk, we don't talk about any of it. If anything did happen, I would still love this kid.
Jesus Christ, man.
He could dunk in the 11th grade really well, and, it just made me feel better about myself, so I'm going to pretend he's fine.
I don't care what he did. He's my boy.
I mean, the ex-wife does not think... The ex-wife's telling people Carlton didn't kill Patrick. Right. She's saying, the quote, they were best friends. I don't see any reason why he would kill him. Said that Dotson had told her that both he and Dennehy had been receiving threatening phone calls. Right. And it was their whole paranoia was directed at both of them. It was... Patrick and Carlton are getting killed. Right. Like, that's so...
They're both the targets.
Now, we don't know if this is paranoid delusions, because he's got that, or if, who knows what they were into also, if there maybe was people threatening them. Who the fuck knows? We have no idea.
Yeah, meth guys and weed guys together.
Yeah, it's an interesting mix, really. Dennehy's girlfriend, Jessica De La Rosa, said they were friendly teammates that recently became much closer as friends.
Yeah.
So this was like I don't know if it sounds like a drug thing.
Yeah,
we're the only two that are into meth on the team.
Right.
We're going to separate from them and kind of be buddies.
When two people bond with zero explanation of what they have in common, it's usually something that you don't talk about. And usually that thing you don't talk about is drugs.
Yeah.
Or something other than that's illegal.
Even the Pakistani tutor noticed a change, and he said he told me his life was in real danger. He's telling the Pakistani kid, he's like, yo man, he's this huge guy, be like, yo man, these people are gonna fucking kill me.
Yeah.
The Pakistani kid's like, maybe you should move your shit from the house and not into the house. No good. That's
they
not
called
a Pakistani
the
accent.
Pakistani kid Slumdog in the movie. It would be great if they called him
They did,
that.
like Danny DeVito and Always Sunny. Slumdog, calling M. Night Shyamalan Slumdog. So, anyway, also, too, leading into the paranoia, Dennehy's stepfather said that Dennehy's SUV had recently been broken into and money had been stolen from it, which could have been fucking Carlton at this point, because this shit's insane.
They could have used that to buy those matching guns.
Exactly, yeah. They bought 9mm.
A pink one.
Yeah, so the evidence of the meth thing was a big kind of a piece of that. Here's when shit starts to hit the fan, okay? Dotson goes to talk to police, and to Maryland police. He goes with his coach to talk to Maryland police, but there's no record of what they talked about.
Like he's like, I'm going to go give them a statement. They can email that shit to Texas or something?
I guess, but he leaves with no charges filed.
Weird.
He's there on his own free will, and his coach takes him. His coach picks him up. Like, he's a fucking lawyer. This is my silver-haired, middle-aged white man that'll be representing.
We understand.
We understand, sir. You all have, yeah.
We identify.
You are an athlete. Of course there's a silver-haired. So he talks to them. They leave. And then, out of nowhere, he calls the police on himself from a grocery store in Maryland. Not about the murder, calls them saying, I'm hearing voices, I'm seeing shit, I need help.
So, should have done this shit months ago, sir.
They go pick him up and take him to a hospital. Because he's just some guy who's like, hey, I'm hearing voices, I'm out on the street, help me. And they're like, get this fucking guy off the street, he sounds crazy. They take him to a hospital. Well, he's at the hospital, he contacts the FBI.
Oh my God.
About the Dennehy situation.
But he doesn't want to be labeled as insane.
No, and tells them that a higher power told him to call them, and that a higher power was telling him where to find Dennehy, and gives them locations where they might find Dennehy's body, because a higher power told them.
Right.
Yeah,
I had a dream of where he's at.
God's voice told me to tell the FBI. I feel like I know
exactly where it is. I didn't do it, but something told me where it is.
It's nuts. So, yeah, I mean, at this point in July, Dotson's attorney releases a statement that they're not going to talk to police anymore unless a judge court orders him to, because I guess the Waco Police Department, because this is Baylor and this is their the only thing in Waco besides a burnt down religious fucking cult, shell of a cult building. Basically they're saying they're using this for publicity and they're not going to talk to the cops and give them any more info. Wow. So that's a big thing. Dave Bliss, the coach of Baylor, pretends that nobody told him about shit. This is news to him. Yeah. He'd never heard about any threats.
He's going to dumb me up.
He says, quote, I'm not aware of anything along that line. A lot of these things that have caught me off guard, because Patrick is 6'10", 250. He's never given us any reason to think that anyone bothered him. Oh, but he's 6'10", 250, so he's fine.
He can take care of himself.
Nobody's... Right. Yeah, he's fine out there.
He's clearly invincible.
Yeah, it's unreal. And which pissed off Dennehy's mother, Valerie Brabazon, said that Dennehy had told her that he had gone to at least 2 coaches to tell him that his life was in danger.
Oh, shit.
And she said, I felt our son came to them telling them he was afraid or scared of something. They should have jumped on it right then and did something. Yeah. Or at least got him some help for his mental delusion.
Put him in a hospital.
But they were like, yeah, buddy, it's all right.
You're 6'10". What are you talking about?
Well, honestly, they probably went to Dave Bliss, and Dave Bliss, from what we find out later, not only ignored it, but swept it under the rug actively. Jesus. So, now, the Baylor program here, this is coming into question here. The wife says that she's witnessed players faking drug tests, and Dotson told her he often got cash from assistant coaches, which also comes up with Dennehy. Yeah. who they were paying tuition for him.
Oh, wow.
And that was part of an official investigation.
Awesome.
And also, too, the Dennehy family said Dennehy said he got money from coaches, too, all the time.
Great.
And, they were, like, smoking weed and hanging out and all this shit. So, I mean, they had money. And Patrick with his family, I mean, Carlton's, like, amazed by Patrick's family. Like, he's never seen anything like it before.
Because they like each other?
Yeah, it's insane. Like he's like, I have a quote from him later we'll get to, but it's this like he's
loving shit.
He's
it's
amazing.
So weird.
It's like so fucking weird. Basically, Bliss said that he saw Dotson on June 11th, the day of the incident, and said that Dotson had been in a car accident before that. So, I mean, Jesus Christ, he's got people trying to kill him. He's buying guns. He's having barbecues. He's moving in over here.
He's got way too much shit going on.
Oh, he's got car accidents. He's moving in with Pakistani kids.
Right.
His fucking life is hectic at this point.
He's got shit going on in his head.
He's got to remember where his guns are. He's got to get meth. It's crazy. So he also saw Dennehy that day and said that he seemed normal. He said Bliss tried to act like he was super pissed that when he found out they bought guns later on when they were missing. He's like, I can't believe they would buy guns.
Why would they do that?
He literally said that our policy at Baylor is with student athletes don't need guns on kids. Like, what are you?
You didn't do anything
You're missing
to
the
stop.
point.
Right. Dude's 6'10", and you did nothing to stop him from being threatened or feel threatened.
Yeah. So
Of course he's going to buy a goddamn gun.
No, absolutely. So apparently they find on June 23rd, Dennehy's reported missing, like I said, on June 19th. Police start looking for him right then.
Good.
On June 25th, his SUV, his black Tahoe, is found in a Virginia Beach strip mall parking lot
Wild.
with the license plate taken
Which
off of
happens
it.
to be on the way to...
Which happens to be in the neighborhood of Maryland.
Right.
Yeah. So this is when things are starting to come together. Investigators at this point, now they have a warrant. We have an affidavit from a warrant that police filed to search Patrick's computer, Dennehy's computer, that stated, quote, Dotson told his cousin he had an argument with Dennehy while out shooting guns.
Oh, no.
They got a statement from his cousin, who we hear of and will refer to as the confidential informant, as to that Carlton was involved in this. As apparently Carlton's an idiot and he tells his cousin about this shit.
Brilliant.
Stop telling your cousins when you kill people. Stop it. Stop involving your cousins. Stop telling your cousins.
Your cousins don't care about you.
Don't involve teenagers in the plot. I could be an athlete criminal mastermind at this point because I know all the downfalls. Stay away from religion, all of it. I know.
Don't have minors in your hit squad.
No minors in your hit squad.
No cousins. Keep the cousins out of the fucking loop.
And keep your silver-haired white middle-aged gentleman close to the vest.
Drink
close
lots
to
of
you.
milk.
And also lots of milk. You want to grow tall. Basically, it said that this informant said that Dotson stated that Dennehy raised his gun, quote, as if to shoot him, so Dotson shot him in the head.
Holy shit.
And so this is the thing here. Now we're going to get into kind of the whole deal. We'll run through this timeline quick, and then we'll delve into the real kind of facts.
So his paranoia clearly indicated to him that he was about to die, and that's going to be his defense. But the motherfucker went and actively tried to get people not to say he was paranoid, delusional, schizophrenic.
That's the other thing. He went to counseling and actively
if
denied
only
it.
he would have just gone.
Yeah.
And then said, "Look, I'm hearing voices and shit. There's something wrong with me."
Absolutely. And at this point, there's no body found.
Oh, no.
There's nothing. They don't even know where the fuck Dennehy is. They've been searching mass areas. They have no idea.
Has no closure yet.
Dotson is described as a person of interest at this point, publicly by the police. His attorney, Grady Irvin, said, quote, I know of no shooting that took place at all. I think there's only a rumor that perhaps Mr. Dennehy has been shot. I don't even know if that's accurate. So he's like, hey.
Grady Irvin. That's a guy that has
he sounds like a college coach
before. Yeah.
He sounds like Coach Grady Irvin.
He knows what underwear tastes like from the backside.
Sounds like he coaches Georgia Tech or something. Just to me,
he's been in a locker before.
He said, this is his other quote, he said, quote, at this time, we have an unnamed person who claims to be a confidential informant. Claims to be a confidential informant. Are you confidentially informing? Then you are. There's no claim of that. Who is stating that someone told him something. I don't believe in this. I don't believe in the truth or accuracy of these statements at all. I don't even know who this so-called confidential informant is. That's why he's confidential, you fucking dipshit. No one even knows if any foul play has occurred. Well, we find out pretty quickly.
Somebody knows.
Because
Dotson knows.
things get in quick. He is arrested he's taken into custody on July 21st, 2003. Carlton is. He is taken into custody in Chesterton in Maryland.
All right.
Before he's transferred. He's extradited back to Texas. This is when he calls the cops and then calls the FBI and then they come and arrest him. The police chief just said he needed help. So they're like, yeah, he's crazy. He's taken to the whole hospital. So at this point, he's making statements, more things. He's telling everyone he's hearing voices. Now he gets back to Texas, and this is when shit gets crazy. His wife said she visited him in jail and said he demonstrated odd behavior, not talking much, staring into space, laughing for no apparent reason. He's just sitting there, based on those, though, I should probably go get some help. You should, definitely. But
I do that shit all the time.
Carlton Dotson does not. No one pays him to go on stage and be silly. No. So
also, too, are they now divorced at this point?
Or at this point, she files for divorce.
All right.
Once she goes and he's like giggling at the fucking wall. She's
like the black Joker, just giggling at the wall.
Maybe we need some paperwork to smooth this whole
Why
thing
is your
out.
hair green? What's going on here?
Shit's getting crazy, man.
What are those scars?
July 26th we get to now. And at this point, Dennehy's body is found by searchers. So this is...
now it gets deep. Now there's a big problem. Because before that, it's hard to be prosecuted and convicted without the body. When they find the body, now you're in some deep shit.
Now we're dealing with the body.
Yeah.
Okay? He's in custody, and he is, at this point, has admitted it to the FBI. Right. But now that he is in custody and now he has an attorney and everything, now he's saying because a quote said, I haven't confessed to anything.
Right.
So now he's saying, I haven't confessed to anything. He said that a higher power told him where the body was, and that's the kind of bullshit he's trying to say now.
That's all I know at this point.
Meanwhile, they have information from his cousin, which seems pretty accurate of what happened.
An SUV on the way to where they found him.
An SUV, a whole deal. He also told the FBI that he took the SUV, cleaned the car, the whole deal. I have the top in their own words quote of all time coming up, by the way. Stick around just for that. It's the best in their own words. It's what in their own words is all about. It's amazing.
That's why it was created.
It's the most delusional, insane
for band camp
ever.
For band camp letters back to the coach, and then this shit. They found the body in one of the three areas Dotson told him to search for. Right.
His parents were there. His parents, obviously, Dennehy's parents hoped it wasn't Patrick, obviously. Right. But, I mean, let's be fucking honest here. They find a body, and at first they're like, we're not sure it's Dennehy. How many other 6'10" corpses are you finding in the gravel pit that a guy told you to look in? Like, it's not hard to check. Any other 6'10" dudes missing? No.
We got a name.
We're in Texas. There's probably 7 guys. Is Tim Duncan missing? No. All right. Well, then this is probably Dennehy. I was going to say.
Is Dale Ellis still around?
I think if Tim Duncan, he's in San Antonio tonight. Okay, yeah, the Clippers are in town. Then this is Dennehy. Probably.
Did the Admiral leave town after he retired?
David Robinson
he's gone?
stay in San Antonio. So it's a mess, man. God, that's just cracks me up. They wouldn't say it first.
Right.
Is it 6'10"?
Right.
So
is it a male 6'10" wearing a Baylor uniform? We know who it is.
Do you have good rebounding hands? Big rebounding paws on this guy, or what?
Does he have a bullet hole to the face?
Well, we don't know that at first because when they first find the body...
Oh, it's gone. It's all decomposed, I'm sure.
It doesn't have a head is the problem.
Oh, Jesus
The body
Christ.
has no head. Now, the media takes this...
We have no idea if it's 6'10". It might be... Right now, it's 6'2".
It's about 6'2", but we're missing part of it. I'll get back to you. So, let's get back to you and we find the rest of it. So, this guy... Now we got a body with no head in a gravel pit. Things are getting hectic. Media runs with this right away. Like, in the days after they find the headless body in a gravel pit, the media starts saying that Dotson took his head off.
Yeah.
They find the head, over there, basically. Yeah. They find the head over yonder a bit.
It's quite a ways away.
It's, it's not like it didn't like fall off. It had to be taken over there.
Had to be taken away by a being.
So they think that Dotson cut his head off at this point. That's the thing. Is like a Baylor player killed his teammate, cut his fucking head off. Like,
holy shit!
Boom! That is sensational in Waco, Texas. You know, it's sensational anywhere, but in Waco, Texas, it's really the best thing that's ever happened, or the most exciting anyway. I don't know if it's the best,
right?
But it turns out when they do examination, medical examiner checks it out, they believe that it was gnawed off and carried away by desert animals.
Awesome.
Because that's some soft tissue in the neck, and they got
Coyote was like, "There's my prize."
Exactly. So they're pretty sure that's what he's out in the desert for 3 weeks in June, when it's active out there.
Right.
So that makes sense.
Wasn't Dotson sawing it off and then practicing his punting?
I got to admit to you guys, I'm not above this. I'm doing a fucking comedy.
You were rooting
true
on
crime. When I saw he had no head, I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, he cut his head off. This is amazing. This is
awesome.
What did he cut his head off with? Right. I'm just picturing him out there I'm picturing Robert Rozier when they did it with a dull shovel blade.
Dull
took 25 hacks. I'm like, oh, this is amazing what happened. Oh, I love it.
And it's just a coyote.
It's just a coyote. So apparently back to Gilretha, and we'll get more into Gilretha later. But Gilretha here, at this point, she is the reason Carlton turned himself in. She, apparently, when he went to the hospital...
He was like, she was like, I'll get you a job at the chicken place.
Just get a job at the ConAgra plant. Right. You could be right next to me hacking up some wings.
You get the dark meat, I'll get the light.
We'll separate the wings and make the little ones. So...
Teach you the buffalo recipe.
Apparently, she talked him into turning himself in, which she has regrets for later because of the way the whole thing is handled. She, I guess, told him that was the right thing to do.
Like, we'll clean it up. Unlimited gizzards.
Unlimited? God, they just throw them away.
They throw them in the trash.
You could have them.
Neck bones up your ass.
Neck bones. Now, here is where we get some interesting shit. We get to August 8th of 2003. Dennehy's in jail in Texas. A Dallas Morning News, the newspaper there, Dallas Morning News intern reporter, Shawnee George, gets a jailhouse interview with him. Oh, boy. Okay. Now...
It's the only time we ever hear of this person ever again. This is the best gig that they ever got.
Oh, this blew her up for a minute. This is... Now... His lawyers later on are going to say that she does not identify herself as a reporter, that she identified herself as a concerned Christian, a concerned fellow Christian that was there to help. The newspaper says bullshit.
Yeah.
She sat down. She didn't identify herself as a reporter with the jail, which she doesn't have to.
Right.
Apparently, all you have to have is your photo ID if you're on the guy's list.
Yeah.
And so she was on his list. They had already whatever.
Yeah.
She showed a photo ID. They let her in. That's off the jail's hands at that point.
They should have known it was that big-ass camera, though.
Yeah, no. She had no recording devices, nothing. You're not allowed to do that. She just came in and talked to this guy. Mm-hmm. And now, also, too, no notes were taken. But what he's described to say, he also repeats later. So it seems pretty accurate. But... the lawyers obviously are like, hey, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
She didn't identify her. She said she was a Christian and blah, blah, blah. And she says she sat down and right away said, look, I'm with the Dallas, whatever.
Right.
He said he wanted to tell his story.
Somebody else in his head was talking at the time, so maybe...
Yeah, he heard a lot of voices going on. Now, this is his quote to her. In their own words, boy, this isn't the main... This is... All of his quotes are fucking good, by the way. We're just going to build to the mountaintop of quotes. Because that last one is... Oh, boy, it's a doozy. Excuse me. So he says about the incident, quote, this is when we start getting in exactly the details of what happened out in that gravel pit. Quote, I thought he was my friend, but he betrayed me. If someone points a gun at you and shoots and it doesn't go off, what do? If someone is pointing a gun at you and they start putting more bullets into the gun, what do? What? Unquote. That's his quote to her.
What the fuck is he talking about?
That quote, he's saying he's self-defense. He's saying
he's saying that it didn't fire.
Yeah, he's saying Patrick tried to shoot him. It's a
single shotgun? Is that what it is?
I guess he's saying it jammed. Patrick went to fix the jam, and
he just came up with one. He came up and
fucking popped one in his head.
Well,
that's his defense at this point. He's saying it's self-defense. The girlfriend, Patrick's girlfriend at the time, doesn't buy it. She says, quote, "I was not there, but I know Patrick extremely well. Patrick would not do that even if the gun was completely empty." But he's also kind of going crazy.
Right. He's also on whatever he's on.
At this point, the 21st of August of 2004 now we get into. Basically, at this point, later on, the court proceedings are going on. He is examined for 30 days by a state-hired psychiatrist after his team psychiatrists deem that he's out of his mind batshit, because he seems to be. So he's going to be examined. A murder trial isn't to be delayed. It's supposed to start on October 11th of 2004. It's not to be delayed, but the hearing was set for the next month to determine competency after the examination. Dotson's attorney, Abel Rania, said he noticed early on that Dotson suffered from mental problems. He never tried to assist in his defense. He said, quote, "He'd just sit there when we try to communicate with him." Said that the case was discussed between the state doctor and the basically everyone was like, "Yeah, this guy seems a little wacky." The state
We're
guy.
trying to talk to him, and he just sits there and stares at us and starts giggling.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying everything, too. They win. They don't know if they think there's something wrong with his brain. They win an appeal. Dotson's attorneys win approval to get an MRI of his head as part of the competency hearing. I guess I don't know if they think he has a tumor.
See if anything's in there that's fucking this kid up. Right.
It's a sudden change, like we said before with the bell tower guy. You know, I mean, that's what happens. Dotson later tells the press, like I said, he didn't confess to anything. He's telling them at this point, he's like, "I don't know what the hell anybody's talking about." This whole thing here. We get into a quick little timeline of events, and then we'll really, really delve in to this. First of all, too, Carlton at this point says to, quote, here's another in their own words. He says, quote, "Have you ever felt fear? Not fear when someone is waiting to fight you after school. I mean real fear." That's just
like when your best friend has a gun aimed at you.
Best friend has a gun, or like imaginary people are trying to kill you. I mean,
or somebody's telling you that your girlfriend is fucking everybody else.
Yeah. And
it's just all in your head. Yeah, that's terrifying.
And later on, we get some serious quotes from him, kind of telling exactly what happened, and but in his own skewed way. Basically, quick timeline of events here. On the 20th of October, 2004, Judge George Allen, the ex-Redskins coach, not the same guy, but Judge George Allen receives a report from the court-appointed doctor that Dotson, quote, "consistently appears to be having hallucinations."
Yeah,
that's the definition of crazy. If you're seeing and doing shit.
Consistent.
The 28th of October, commitment papers are signed by Allen. We get to the next month. He's transferred to a state hospital on November 22nd, 2004. Committed.
That's
for
awesome.
120 days. That's the commitment. Then they revisit it. That's the whole deal. And I guess
so he's
that's
getting
how.
3 months? 4 months.
4 months.
4 months. And then they're going to discuss where you're going to put
That's how insanity pleas work, people. So
Yeah.
That's just how this shit
the
works.
start of it.
We get to the next year, January 26, 2005. At this point, that's the 120 days is up. Dotson is deemed competent to stand trial.
Oh, shit.
At this point. Transferred back to county jail. He's
got
told,
a little too comfortable and happy in that place.
Little too cocky in there. He's told he must keep taking his medication. Also, his antipsychotic medication in jail. It's
Didn't
part of his
smear
thing.
enough of his own shit on the
No,
walls.
you got to get in there deep with the feces and really
Haven't you seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's
make
Nest?
some
You
art
got
out
to
of
try.
it. Make some art out of it. Build a castle.
Yeah.
Draw something.
You got to look like you're there under your own recognizance, but you're fucking nuts and can't leave.
Come on, man. Get your shit together, Dotson. They also said that in the hospital they thought his act was, quote, suspect also, which obviously if he's competent now.
Yep.
At this point, he sees the outpouring from Dennehy's family, and this is when he says, quote, there's another quote here from Carlton Dotson, quote, "I'm starting to understand what his family meant to him, how his family loved him and cared about him. This is the first time I've really known what family means." So, I mean, mom's at the chicken factory. How do you know what family means? You know what I mean? You wouldn't know anything.
If you'd opened your eyes and looked around a little bit, your mom took up parting chickens to support you.
He's trying.
That's love and adoration, sir.
At this point, he's trying to fight this.
She'll do anything. God damn it.
We get to the trial is now set.
Yeah.
At this point, which is set for June 13th. 5 days before the trial. The trial's going to go on June 13th. We get to June 8th, 2005. Dotson changes his plea to guilty all of a sudden. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, guilty.
So coming up on the anniversary of the death. What happened?
The trial's supposed to start in 5 days.
I'm guilty.
His attorneys talked him into this because they think that basically the attorneys later on state that they think that they're going to make an example out of this guy because
throw the book at him.
They're going to throw the book at him. This is the Baylor.
Waco.
They're disgracing the university.
Sure.
That's the whole thing. They think that they're not going to stand. They're going to make a definite example out of this guy between the whole thing. So
this shit's never happening again.
This shit's not happening again. So he makes a deal with no sentencing agreement. That's the agreement they don't make. They make no sentencing. He just agrees to plead guilty. Well, he really has no cards to play.
Yeah.
He's not going to go, I'll plead guilty if. They'll be like, well, don't plead guilty then. We'll just go through the trial and convict you and we'll get you for life. It doesn't matter. So at this point, he said, my God, this is when we get into the beauty of Carlton Dotson right here, because this is when we really get to know Carlton Dotson as a person. Boy. Okay. Part of the state's case were the FBI documents of his, because he confessed to the FBI, told them all sorts of shit. He said, Dotson told agents that he thought people were trying to kill him because, quote, he is Jesus, son of God.
Holy Christ, he is Yahweh ben Yahweh.
He thought people were out to get him because he was Jesus.
Because I'm God.
And they needed to take him down.
I've got to go.
I got to go.
I got to die for all of your sins.
Holy shit. Told the FBI that on June 11th they went to shoot targets at the gravel pit because I guess they were like trying to get into, they're coming to get us, we better shoot targets. So they're shooting targets at the gravel pit. Basically told him he killed the guy, he killed Dennehy. He said he tried to drag him up a hill, but his shoes came off in his hands and he couldn't drag him because he's 6'10", 250, trying to drag him up gravel.
It's a big fucking guy to go uphill.
Came off. He freaked out.
He's dragging him by the feet.
By the
first
feet.
Of all?
Yeah, he probably should have grabbed his arms.
Yeah, I mean, his shirt's going to fill up with dirt too.
Yeah, it's easier.
Make him
but
heavier.
Then again, the pants would drag the other way. There's no easy way to
there's no
drag
easy way
a
to drag
6'10"
No.
corpse. There really
Hook it up
isn't.
to that Tahoe.
There you go.
What are you doing?
Yeah, some Texas ingenuity. You got a hitch on that fucking thing, I guarantee it. A rope around the hitch, one around the ankle, drag his ass up there. Gone.
I guarantee that truck moves it better than you do.
I would be such a good killer at this point. I'd be so good at it. I know.
Why are you... You've got an SUV.
You've got
what
an SUV.
The fuck?
By the time we get to like episode 50, I swear to God, I'm going to think, well, I could get away with anything.
We're just going to go the whole way through it and just be like, they should have just done that.
They should have just done this. Yeah, that'll be the name. We'll change from Crime and Sports to
they should have
the fuck were they thinking? Yeah. Come on. Get your shit together, pal. This is just a spin-off. Get your shit together, pal. Said he packed up his belongings, called a relative to wire him money from Maryland, threw the gun in a lake on the way to Maryland, and drove Dennehy's SUV after trying to bang his ex-wife unsuccessfully. Oh my God!
Couldn't drag him up a hill, couldn't bang his wife, and he took off.
And he just said, "I can't. I'm ineffectual.
Fuck it all. I'm out.
just ineffectual today." He needs a V8. It's like one of those old commercials. I'm just feeling a little off. Oh no, I'm better. So, the autopsy does not support Carlton's version of events here. It says he was shot twice, not once. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Once was above the right ear. That's the shot that Dotson talks about.
Yeah.
Because he says he shot him close range. Second one was in the back of the head.
Oh, no.
Dotson, at this point, also says he has some statements about this, not that he makes now, that he makes later, but it's pertinent here. He says, quote, in their own words, quote, "The day it happened, Patrick said, 'Hey, let's go get some weed.' Suddenly he takes all these turns. I don't know where we are. Then while he's driving with his right hand, he points a gun at me with his left hand." He said that's how he started. Then they get out to the gravel pit, and he says, quote, more in their own words.
Hold on. Stop real quick there.
You want to go back to that?
I'm driving.
You're driving with your right hand. He's got your gun.
I throw a weapon across my body
probably
to get
under.
to you. Under.
SUV,
I mean, either way.
Either way.
No,
it's
motherfucker.
Silly.
That's not happening.
It's silly.
No.
It's silly in its own.
Jesus.
And plus, wouldn't you wait till you got out there to start pulling guns on people?
Hey, we're already in this truck together. Don't run.
Yeah.
What? He's not going to run. You just introduced him to everybody at your apartment complex yesterday as the only dude that you trust.
LaDonna Newton is telling you. How the hell I remember that?
That's the only dude that you trust.
It's the only dude we
Nice
trust.
job.
Thank you. I'm very surprised at myself there.
Miss Newton gets too much.
Miss Newton, boy. LaDonna Newton. I'm going to look her up. Let me tell you something. Dotson says more here. He says, quote, "It was like slow motion, and he still had the gun in his hand." This is about the shooting, not about the car. Start over. Quote, "It was like slow motion, and he still had the gun in his hand. It had to happen. That's the only thing I can think of if you ask me if I have a regret about that day. It had to happen. My only regret is getting in that car. I wish I had not gotten in that car that day. I wish I had said no."
How about I wish I hadn't shot the only guy that trusts me?
How about that does not seem really like it's a responsibility accepting.
No,
my only regret was getting in the car because it had to happen.
Yeah.
God preordained this event to happen. It had to happen.
In slow motion.
And that's not even the good quote, by the way, because we're going to get to that. That's amazing. Oh my God! So yeah, we get to June 15th now. This is a week later after he changes his plea to guilty, and he is sentenced at this point. Now the judge could have given him anywhere from 5 years to life.
All right,
it's very open sentencing.
That's a wide,
that is a wide gap.
Yeah.
He gets 35 years in jail for this.
It's not
35 years. I mean,
at 22, 21, what was
21. I mean, you figure
he's 56 when he gets out. If he serves the whole thing,
I'm thinking the judge said, "All right, he pled guilty, didn't make us do the whole trial.
Yeah.
He saved us a few bucks. Let's not. I don't know.
Give him 40 years to enjoy himself."
Now
in
he's
his late
eligible.
50s.
Yeah, he's eligible for parole in 2021. So we are 5 years away from this young man possibly being paranoid and delusional out in a neighborhood
Waco.
near you. So yeah, hopefully he stays in Waco.
In Texas.
Just stay in Texas.
Just keep this
I'm not
crazy
going
shit
to
there.
fucking
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, Texas is fine, but I'm not
going.
I just don't have any plans to be there.
Listen, you guys have one too many Dodsons in your population.
Apparently so. Apparently, yeah. I wonder what senior thinks about this. Little Carlton Dotson senior. He doesn't even know he's had a
Something
kid.
tells me he moved back to Haiti.
He's like, boy, it wasn't the Haitian guy.
Oh, it wasn't?
No.
I thought that was
she
his
was
dad.
Teenage bowling alley hookup.
Holy shit.
Night of drinking and bowling when she was 15 or whatever led to Carlton Dotson. So this is just some dude that was hanging out at a bowling alley and got some high school trim. And he was in the 11th grade, and then he's a killer.
He dipped out.
So he's eligible. That's after half his sentence, 2021. He's eligible for parole. He appeals. This is brilliant, by the way.
So scary.
He attempts an appeal in January of 2006. He attempts to appeal his conviction. His request is denied, obviously, on the grounds that he surrendered his right to appeal because he pled fucking guilty. You can't say, I did it, and then go, hey, that trial didn't work. No, you said you did it, you idiot. You can't now
there
say,
was
no, I didn't
trial,
do it anymore.
you moron.
Yeah, they were like, what is he even filing?
You can't appeal your own admission.
This paperwork doesn't go here. He was like in the DMV line. He had the wrong form. And they're like, no, you need to be in that line. Like, what are you doing?
What do you mean you need a new picture? That's way over there.
Insane.
Hilarious.
So, 2007, he's having problems in jail, too. 2007, he has to be transferred from Huntsville prison to a psychiatric unit from November of 2007 to February 29th, 2008. It's leap year.
Yeah.
Take a leap right back into prison, asshole. So he's back into prison. Lucky for him. In 2008, one of his attorneys, a guy named Russ Hunt Sr., why would you call yourself Senior? That's pretty funny. Who recommended, he was the guy
That's just bragging that he named his kid
I have a child named after me. Well then, mister. So does Carlton Dotson Sr. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, all you seniors out there. You think you're so fucking cool.
That's fucking great.
He said, quote, I think that Carlton was in a paranoid state. He thought there was a group of people trying to kill him, and he thought Dennehy had joined those people. He figured, I better eliminate him. Makes sense? Unfortunately, though, he was saying how paranoid doesn't meet the legal threshold for insanity. No. Says being paranoid does not make you insane for criminal purposes. No. It doesn't. No. You hearing voices and seeing shit does.
That will do it.
That'll do it.
People smoke weed all the time and get super fucking paranoid.
Yeah, not to that level.
No.
Not to that level.
But that's not illegal.
No.
And nobody ever commits crimes when they're... And if
not that crime.
Right. And if they commit a crime when they're smoking weed and they're high, they were going to do it anyway.
And they were, and they were smoking weed this day, too.
Right.
Like, Dotson admits butt was what was in the weed also.
That's just what they do.
They're going to get high, go shoot some fucking guns, you know.
It's pretty common.
Yeah, so
Hillbillies do it all the time.
hillbillies love it. Yeah, they hit. Have you ever seen the Wild Wonderful Whites of West Virginia?
Yeah.
At least these guys are smoking weed and not doing more pills like Ryan Leaf. Basically, Dotson said he fired the 9mm close range, hit Dennehy in the head, but Dennehy wouldn't go down because he's a giant guy, I guess, and he didn't know he wouldn't go down. So that's when he shot him again. Shot him in the back of the head. That's in a 2008 interview when they go to the jail with Gilretha.
Right.
Now here we are at the jail with Gilretha. Okay.
Mama Dotson.
Now we're into some fun shit here. Mama Dotson is here. Okay. Gilretha is on her 5th husband right now. Her 5th husband is a Pennsylvania Amish Dutch gentleman, Amish gentleman, who gave up his Amish religion for Gilretha.
She must have some snap and gyro, man.
I'm telling you, boy.
She must know what she is doing.
I don't know if it's the strength. He's got strong, nice, those chicken parting hands are strong, and he respects that as an Amishman. He's like, that lady could raise a barn, boy. I respect that. She parts a chicken out like no Amish woman I've ever seen.
Bare hands.
Bare hands. Just no problem. Pink, 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 done.
She plucks the feathers.
By the way, his name is Elmer, which is
Holy
Gilretha
shit.
and Elmer.
That is awesome.
Now imagine this.
I want their Christmas card.
She's like, she's an older black lady.
Yeah.
Like I said, looks 75. Worked at the chicken plant. A lot of addiction issues. He is an Amish person who looks fucking Amish,
right.
and his name is Elmer, and they're a married couple.
I don't care how old you are at Amish. In the Amish community, you always look like you're in your 70s.
You do, and these are my favorite people ever because they're crazy as shit. They're crazier than him. They sell all their shit. They met at an antique show, which is funny.
Selling their shit.
Yeah, an Amish guy meets at an antique show, fucking meets a woman, and then gives up the Amishness and goes there. They sell all their shit and buy a crappy SUV, move to Waco to be near Carlton and to expose the conspiracies of Baylor University.
Holy shit.
This lady's wacky, too. She's a sweet lady. I feel
she bought an SUV. I'm sure her family had one for sale.
A black one. She is a saint and she's a tortured soul, this lady at this point. She's not a saint because she didn't raise Carlton right, but she's tortured about it now.
She's really fucked up.
They live in an RV in someone's front lawn, and she scrubs pots at a taco stand.
Yes.
To make a subsistence living to
that is the 2007 equivalent of separating chickens.
Yeah, and she is just... She does that
now?
She does that. This was in 2008. She was doing this, trying to expose something. They moved there so she could go to the murder site, so she could, figure out. She needs to reconcile what he says and what is the reality and what is what. And she feels so guilty because she said, I never did anything for him. I abandoned him as a child. I was the worst mother in the world. And now she's literally trying to pay penance for it. She's scrubbing pots, living in a fucking RV, trying to expose imaginary conspiracies. Right. That's, this poor lady, she's tortured. Oh, God. Basically, they go to the scene. There's an interview that they go, Amish Elmer and the mother here, and Gilretha. Elmer and Gilretha go to the murder site, okay? And they look around, and she turns and she gets pissed off and says to Elmer, this isn't how Carlton told us it went down. Next time I see him, he better answer some questions about what really happened that day, because none of this looks the same as what he told us. And then she looked around some more, and she turned to Elmer, and she said, you know what I think? I think Carlton lured him out here. I bet Carlton brought that boy out here to kill him.
Yeah.
That's the quote. And,
I would think so.
But, I mean, even the mother, when she gets out there...
She finally figures out. She goes, yep.
This is the first time this interview was like, this is the culmination of this lady's journey to get to this place. It's so sad here. And now Carlton... Now, by the way, there's more here because we're going to get into what happened with Baylor after this and the criminal shit there and everything else. Yeah. But this is my favorite in their own words of all time here. He says this in June 2008. Here it is. Quote, I could understand tampering with the evidence. I moved the body. I got the car clean. I didn't call the police right away. I didn't stay at the scene of the crime. I realized I was just trying to invent an alibi. And then I just started panicking. But I didn't plan this. It had to happen. I just don't want to be looked at as a bad guy. That's what everybody thinks I am, but that's not who I am. That's the ultimate in their own words, right there.
It's not who I am.
Look, I shot him.
Right.
I hid the body.
It's not
I moved
me.
it. I didn't call the cops.
That's not me.
Yes, I did all of the things that a bad guy
That's
does.
not me.
But it had to happen. Jimmy, it had to happen. It had to happen because the voices and God and Jesus told him that
It had to.
It had to. So, Carlton Dotson isn't the only guy who ends up having some troubles out of this whole incident.
Invented an alibi.
Yeah,
but that's not who I am.
But that's not who I am.
I can't get over
Or
it.
the killing or the moving
That's
or the
awesome.
car. I cleaned the car. I didn't call the guy. He
So
basically
awesome.
said, here's how I killed him and covered the whole thing up. But I don't want to be
That's
a
not
bad
me.
guy. It's not
That's
me.
not me.
It's not me. I mean, sometimes you do that. Everyone, you've done that, right?
It's pretty common.
I
It's
mean,
a Thursday.
yeah, come on. It's been a couple months for me, but every once in a while I got to do that. Now, during this whole thing, like I said, the coach, I showed you the quotes of the coach being like, nobody messed with Patrick.
Right.
Nobody told me shit. Basically, it is found from an internal Baylor investigative committee found that Bliss not only improperly paid players, paid up to $40,000 in tuition for Dennehy and another player. Also, that the coaching staff did not report failed drug tests. Bliss also asked his players and an assistant coach to lie to investigators and say that Dennehy paid his tuition by selling drugs.
Wow.
And that's what happened with the whole murder thing.
Yeah.
To
And he just
push it
pushes
away.
it all under the rug.
And they didn't want it to be a
ignorance
teammate.
is bliss.
Is Dave Bliss.
That is brilliant.
And he's caught on tape by an assistant doing this,
Whoa.
too. This isn't hearsay. This isn't he said, she said bullshit. This is
Somebody fucked him.
press play,
Yeah.
motherfucker. This is some John Gotti shit right here. They got him good. Yeah, this whole thing, he's taken down.
Yeah.
I mean, the school there's sanctions for paying
Shit,
players.
yeah.
I mean, there's
That's a problem.
This is a
This
Baylor
is why
shitstorm.
kids should get paid.
This is
Because otherwise you get shit like this going on. And
Plus,
because money's the root of all evil, and it'll make you do fucking anything because that's what this
and if
goddamn
you're
country's run
you
on.
get shot in the head by a teammate,
Right.
you at least want to have $30
Right.
in your pocket.
At least
you know
have
what I
your
mean?
fucking rent paid.
Yeah, at least have your rent paid. And so
In an SUV.
And now at this point, in April of 2015, I see a big fluff piece I find. I'm like, what is this article here? What is it? Dave Bliss at 71 years old, by the way, a silver-haired, white, middle-aged
yes, he
gentleman, is hired as the head coach of a goddamn university.
What the fuck? Which
Somebody
one?
hired this fucktard. Southwestern Christian University.
Christ.
It's some NAIA bullshit small.
Some shit
fucking-
where they're like forgive and
yeah,
forget.
they
Ugh.
they don't have any actual. It's all bleachers and
Right.
like
They have nobody watching.
No,
They just
it's-
have 10 kids to run up and down the court.
Yeah, they don't even. There's no
Christ.
cheerleaders. There's no
He
spirit.
doesn't deserve
anything.
a chance, though.
Like 5 of the kids' parents are there watching. That's it. This jackass is now has another job. So that's what we have out of that. Dave Bliss here. And Carlton Dotson still in prison awaiting 2021. And holy shit.
And his
See what-
boy Dennehy is still dead.
His boy Dennehy is dead as it gets.
Yeah.
I have no idea the status of the SUV. Melissa
I want
Kethy,
it.
I'm not sure.
I want that. I
Gil-
want that car.
I want the SUV. Yeah,
That'd be a good car.
The death
Yeah,
SUV.
the death wagon.
The-
I want to know if
the
body-
Maryland road
Well,
trip
the body
wagon.
was never in it.
Uh-uh.
It was just asshole driving across the country. So it's
Yeah.
got minimum 1,800 miles on it.
We know that for a fact.
For
And
sure.
whatever it is
I
between
want
Baylor
that
and the
car.
gravel
Yeah.
pit. That's
I want that car.
I want that car too. But I mean, see what I mean? Like that story is one of those where you're like, what the?
How the
It just
fuck
keeps.
did that? How did nobody knows
It
about
just keeps
that?
untwisting and
Yeah.
unraveling.
It's
and then
so
this one
twisted
and, that
and
one.
gross.
It's horrible, and it's just shattered.
Yeah.
A tale of shatter. But I mean, you don't get like the team. This is teammate killing teammate. This
Yeah.
isn't even a guy like killing his wife or
Right.
killing this one. This is teammate on teammate. This is what crime in sports is all about right here.
Teammate on teammate with a shitty silver-haired white man
God,
somewhere.
with a shit in the
Doing dumb
background,
shit.
helping him, patting him on the back. Mental illness, horrible upbringing,
fucking great.
college corruption, paying players off, covering shit up. This is
Mixing-
and
yeah.
Baptists and
Yeah.
the largest Baptist
Community.
university in the world. Oh, hypocrisy
Super
abounds. Crime in sports.
Super Southern hypocrisy. It's
Holy
beautiful.
shit. Crime in goddamn sports. I love
enjoying
it
it.
so much. Oh, so that's Carlton Dotson, guys.
It was fun.
Well, just like we promised. Yeah, it's batshit crazy. Holy shit. Follow us on social media, by the way. That's a good segue. You like that, right? No, seriously. Also, guys, please rate and review on iTunes. We beg you.
That would be helpful.
It helps so much. Just give it 30 seconds. Please, please. I'll do it for you someday, too. Call me up. Say, hey, write me a review. I'll say, no problem.
Whatever.
But you got to do a show and write 700,000 note cards first. And go through insanity. So, anyway, that is Carlton Dotson. Thank you so much for that. Follow us on social media. You got to do at Crime and Sports on Twitter, crimeinsports@gmail.com if you want to drop us a line there. Crime and Sports, Facebook.com/Crime and Sports on Facebook. Jimmy, hit him with your Twitter.
At Whisman Sucks on Twitter and Instagram, WHISMAN Sucks, and Jimmy Whisman on Facebook, JMMIE.
Beautiful. And I am at Jimmy P is funny on Twitter, and you can find me on all the other shit, whatever. I'm around there somewhere. But thank you guys so much. Please join us next week, as always.
I can't wait.
We're going to have another scumbag, guys. More scum
so
for you.
Scum.
We're excited about it.
Like a bathtub.
But just full of it. I'll try to find someone who's not mentally ill next week. Maybe we'll find someone that's just, I don't know. I have a guy in mind.
An opportunist.
I'm going to say who it is, Jimmy, but it's wild. It's wild, and it's woolly, and it's a type of guy where you just go, just stop doing that same fucking thing. Holy shit.
How do you keep going?
You keep doing it. You go to jail, you come out, and right back again, you stupid son of a bitch.
It's like a white trash drunk cycle. You beat your wife, you get drunk, you beat your wife, you go to jail. You get drunk, you beat your wife, you go to jail.
The cycle of
Same
cops.
Shit.
It's pathetic. So we're going to get into that next week, but for now, we appreciate it so much. Thanks for sticking with us. A little extra long episode tonight, but this was deep, and there's a lot of shit involved. So we really had to go down and dig and all that. But please join us next week. We appreciate you guys. Live from the Crime and Sports Studios.
See you next week.
We love you so much. Have a good one, guys.
Bye.